This is Computer Science 1213, Introduction to Computing. I'm Chris Ridley, instructor, and this is a video about the Penguin Party Project 11. Now, what I've done so far is I set up a scene. And what I did is I put 5 penguins in the list and a pond, and I changed the atmosphere color. In this particular screen over on the right, when you have this selected, atmosphere color is an option. And the default was 2 light colored. There wasn't that much difference between the sky and the snow, so I made a purple sky. So now I've got this mysterious scene with these 5 penguins. Now, if we take a look at the top view, you can see that all 5 penguins are lined up directly behind each other with relatively the same distance between each penguin. And this is important for your program to work correctly. So let me give you some ideas about how I did that. It took a little time, probably took 30 minutes to get these things set up right. Now, one thing I did is when I got ready to add the penguins, I searched for the penguins. And I found an adult penguin. And when it came up, it defaulted for a name of penguin. And I changed that to penguin followed by a number 1. And then when I added a new penguin, like this one here, if I'm going to add number 6, it comes up and it says penguin 6. So it automatically defaulted to the next number as I added the penguins. And that saved me from typing in a name for each one. So on the first one, it came up just penguin. I added a 1 at the end. And from then on, when I added penguins, it gave me the next number in the sequence. So I'm going to hit OK. Now when it comes up, the penguin is not facing the right way. It's facing forward. I need it to face toward the pond, like the rest of these guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my top scene. And you can see that I didn't get him placed just right. So I'm going to click on the move. And I'm going to move him sort of kind of close to where I want him. Then I'm going to click on rotation. And what I want to access is that red circle. And it'll slightly change the shade when I get there. See, the white silver changes, blue changes. And there's the red change. And if you look really close, there's a white line that goes out forward. And I want him right behind that next penguin. So I'm a little far over. You can see that white line as I'm moving him. And then if I click on rotation, you see the red circle? I want that outer edge of that red circle right up against that next penguin. That's how I decided to get them the same distance apart. I'll move him forward a little bit, click on the rotation. That's about right. See, the outer edge of the red circle is about touching the next penguin. If I do that, I'm pretty close. That was a little too close, but the rest of them are pretty well there. And so that's how I set up my penguins to be in a line and to be the same distance apart from each other. I use that top view. Now they're all pointing toward the pond, and they're all about the same distance apart. Now I can go back to my starting camera view. So to start, I put in a pond first, change the atmosphere color, You can see it over here on the right. When I have this selected, I can then change to whatever color I want. And then I put in my penguins, and using the top view, I change them all so they're all facing the same direction and they're all about the same distance apart. So this is the setup for the penguin party, and the code for this is on page 199. The rubric for this is in the assignment. You probably saw that. And if you have difficulty creating, well, let's just go over here. So now I've got the scene set up, and now I've got to set up the array. And it's the same way we did it in the last assignment. It is going to be an array. And I'm going to pick gallery class, and I'm going to pick penguin. And when I do, all of my 6 penguins are selected. And I'm going to call them, now notice I'm going to call them penguins, plural, because this is for all of them. And it's going to be a custom array. And then I'm going to add these penguins as I go. And now they're all in the array. And now I have an array. Okay, so there's one thing I needed to show you about in here. We're going to do a for each. And I'm going to do it for the penguins. And I'm not sure what he called it. I'm going to call it swim. So they're all getting in the water. And I'm going to pick the penguins array to do this in. All right, so then I've got all this in here. Now, once the front penguin has gotten into the water, I need another setup for the penguins. I'm going to call this one step up. So I want them to move forward. So this is what we call a nested loop. There's a nested loop shown in the code in the book. So you do a bunch of stuff in here. Let me just go to the swim up 0.5, whatever. Oh, and this is going to be a do together. So then he'll also move forward. I don't know what it is. Something like that. Okay. And there's, just follow the code in the book for that, but you'll need to use the name of your for each loop here down in this part. And then you'll need another for each loop. This one has a different name for all the penguins to move forward a certain amount. And based on how far apart you have the penguins, you'll have to adjust for that distance as they move forward. And since the code's in the book, I don't need to do all that, but that's a couple of things to watch for. So this concludes the video on Penguin Party. If you're confused about something or don't understand something, please send me an email.